Baron Vladimir Harkonnen is hard to beat as a villain. Did you know that in the book he preferred young male slaves, whom he viewed as disposable playthings? Or what about the time when he promised Dr. Wellington Yueh that he would be reunited with his wife, only to reveal that he had already killed her? And then there's the time after Feyd-Rautha's failed assassination attempt on the Baron. Vladimir Harkonnen orchestrated a brutal display of power to punish those involved. He ordered the summary execution of the slave master under the pretense of losing a chess game, and had 2 guards executed for carrying the slave master's corpse away without dignity. This act served as a warning to others about the consequences of betrayal and failure, showcasing the Baron's sadistic nature and his use of cruelty as a tool to maintain control. The story of the Baron begins on Giedi Prime, the homeworld of House Harkonnen. The Harkonnen family, known for its ruthless and manipulative nature, was a powerful force in the Landsraad. The Baron's father, Dmitri Harkonnen, ruled with an iron fist, instilling in Vladimir a deep understanding of power and treachery. From a young age, Vladimir was groomed to take over the mantle of leadership, and he quickly demonstrated a natural talent for manipulation and cruelty. The early years of Vladimir's rule saw him building upon the Harkonnen legacy of fear and oppression. Under his leadership, House Harkonnen thrived through blackmail, subterfuge, and merciless exploitation. He expanded their wealth and influence, but his methods were anything but honorable. The Baron's reign was characterized by his unquenchable thirst for more power, more control, more pleasure. Physically, the Baron was a grotesque figure. Originally a tall, muscular man with red gold hair, he was reduced to a morbidly obese caricature of his former self. His sheer weight required the use of suspensors, anti-gravity devices that allowed him to float and move around, as he was no longer capable of walking unaided. This physical transformation was not just a result of unchecked gluttony, but also a punishment inflicted upon him. According to the expanded Dune universe, the Bene Gesserit Reverend Mother Mohiam had infected him with a degenerative disease, as revenge for forcing himself upon her, accelerating his descent into corpulence. In his later years, the Baron's appearance was both terrifying and pitiable. He had spider-black eyes, cheeks like cherubic mounds, protruding lips, and bobbing jowls. His body was covered in pustules and boils, especially in David Lynch's 1984 film adaptation, where his appearance was exaggerated to emphasize his decay and depravity. This visible sign of his inner corruption acted as a clear indication of his relentless craving for excess. The Baron's court on Giedi Prime was a reflection of his own excesses. The halls of his palace were adorned with opulent decorations, and his banquets were legendary for their extravagance. He surrounded himself with sycophants and enforcers, each more eager than the last to please their master in hopes of gaining favor. The Baron's appetite for food was matched only by his appetite for cruelty. He derived perverse pleasure from the suffering of others, a trait that he instilled in his nephews, Glossu Rabban and Feyd-Rautha. His treatment of his servants and slaves was particularly brutal. The Baron took sadistic pleasure in the pain and humiliation of others, often using torture and murder to maintain control. His penchant for young boys was another dark facet of his character, as he frequently indulged in the company of young male slaves, whom he would use and discard without a second thought. The Baron's sexual perversions were not just acts of physical gratification, but expressions of his absolute power and control over those around him. Psychologically, the Baron was a study in contrasts.
Oh my God. I've never seen anything like it. Doctor, what is it, Doctor?
I'm fine. Get the t-shirt.
He was highly intelligent, a master strategist capable of intricate plots and long-term planning. Yet his brilliance was overshadowed by his boundless greed and paranoia. He trusted no one completely, not even his closest advisors. This distrust extended to his family. He deemed Rabban too brutish to be his successor, and viewed Feyd-Rautha's cunning as a potential threat to his own power. The Baron's manipulations often involved turning his enemies and allies against each other. He was adept at exploiting the weaknesses of others, using blackmail, threats, and psychological torture to bend them to his will. This cunning was evident in his orchestration of the downfall of Duke Leto Atreides. By planting a traitor within House Atreides and manipulating the political landscape, the Baron aimed to destroy his rival and seize control of the spice-rich planet Arrakis. Despite his formidable intellect and resources, the Baron's own excesses ultimately led to his downfall. His hatred for House Atreides blinded him to the growing threat posed by Paul Atreides and the Fremen of Arrakis. The Baron's plan to install Feyd-Rautha as the ruler of Arrakis, after a period of brutal misrule by Rabban, was intended to solidify Harkonnen control. However, the emergence of Muad'Dib, the mysterious leader of the Fremen, disrupted these plans. In the climactic battle on Arrakis, the Baron's forces were overwhelmed by the combined might of the Fremen and the desert itself. As the battle turned against him, the Baron's cowardice became apparent. He attempted to flee, abandoning his men to their fate. His end came at the hands of his own granddaughter, Alia Atreides, who poisoned him with a gum jabbar. The Baron's death was a fitting end for a man who had lived a life of excess and cruelty. Even in death, the Baron's influence persisted. His residual persona haunted Alia Atreides, leading to her eventual downfall. The legacy of his excesses continued to shape the future of House Harkonnen and the wider universe. His life served as a cautionary tale of the dangers of unchecked ambition and gluttony. The character of Baron Harkonnen has been portrayed in various adaptations, each emphasizing different aspects of his excess and gluttony. In David Lynch's 1984 film, the Baron is depicted as an overtly grotesque and unstable figure, covered in oozing pustules and reveling in his own depravity. This portrayal highlights the physical manifestation of his inner corruption. In the 2000 Sci-Fi Channel miniseries, Ian McNeice's portrayal of the Baron is more restrained, but still captures his manipulative and sadistic nature. This version emphasizes the Baron's cunning and strategic mind, while still showcasing his hedonistic tendencies. Denis Villeneuve's 2021 film adaptation presents a more subdued and menacing version of the Baron, played by Stellan Skarsgård. This portrayal focuses on the Baron's intelligence and strategic brilliance, downplaying the more flamboyant aspects of his character. Villeneuve's Baron is a cold, calculating figure whose quiet menace is a stark contrast to the more overtly grotesque versions in previous adaptations. Baron Vladimir Harkonnen stands as one of science fiction's most compelling villains, embodying the themes of excess, gluttony, and moral decay. His insatiable appetite for power and pleasure, coupled with his ruthless cruelty, make him a formidable antagonist in the Dune universe. Through his physical and psychological decay, Herbert paints a vivid picture of a man consumed by his own vices. The Baron's story serves as a stark reminder of the destructive power of unchecked ambition and the ultimate futility of a life devoted to excess. If you enjoyed this video, subscribe to the channel for more Dune content. If you wish to purchase the I'm Fine t-shirt, the link is in the description. Until next time.